That's great. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. We're just a couple minutes behind. We got everything going. We have a lot of people online joining us. And so if you're online and want to join us, if you want to, and you have any questions, please feel free to just type in your question and we'll react to those. So, just want to thank everyone for joining us. My name is Eric Saunders. I'm Assistant Commissioner of Research and Technology at Arkansas Department of Education, and talking about the internet on the bus idea today. And I know this is an idea that's been tried sometimes and working in some places. We just wanted to share some information and make it available for districts to be able to do whatever they choose to do. So I'm going to go through the presentation, discuss some ideas, the models. We have vendors and providers on hand also here on site that you can meet with, and I'll have their contact information at the end of the presentation as well. If you would like a copy of this presentation, it's available on the ADE website. If you go to Research and Technology page, on the right-hand side under the related links. So it's already posted there, so if you need that presentation, want to reference it later, it will be available right there. Oh. All right, if we look, we know within the schools, we've been spending a lot of money on technology. We know that that's just one of the many aspects of education, and trying to prepare kids for the future, for tomorrow, to have to learn how to use technology. So as such, schools have gone one-to-one. They've done bring your own devices, if not one-to-one, close to one-to-one, where each child has a device, either bringing their own technology-enhanced instructions with the requirement of digital learning and kids taking online courses and completing those. We know that technology has been a focus in school. We know it's a focus in education and kids' lives. Over the last 3 years, schools have spent over $1 billion within the state on technology expenditures alone. So we know the emphasis, we know that it is there, it's in education, and as one of the requirements of technology, we know that the internet is a requirement. If you look at the 2013 BLR study, the 2013 BLR study, it showed that on average, one-way students to ride the bus to or from school spend on average 49.4 minutes each way. That was the average. Now, you do the math on that, multiply by 2, because it's twice a day, multiply by the number of days in a year, divide everything out, that's the equivalent of 49 school days per year that the average bus rider spends on the bus. So using that with the technology, with the possibility of internet, trying to find opportunities where kids could tap in, could do additional work and help them academically. This does not include activity buses. This does not include other opportunities, field trips. Athletics this time of year, you have track, you have baseball, you have softball, you have spring sports of all kinds. They're up and down the road a lot. And so you have a lot of time that kids are spending on the bus, and try to find a way to find that productive and useful. If you look at this Coachella Valley School District, this is one model of some that have done this. They've done this with some routers that they have put on the bus. Additionally, one thing that they did was they put solar panels on the top of the bus so that it wouldn't drain the battery. And what they did was they parked the bus near high-density, high-poverty areas, such as trailer parks and apartment complexes where a lot of their students live, so that the students, that's where they started mending the routes, or at least parked the buses there, so the students would have access to the internet at times while they were at home, whenever the bus was parked out there. So that's not just while the bus is in motion, that's just another model that is going on. Another one, South Texas Independent School District, internet on the buses. There's lots of examples across the country where you can look at internet on the buses and see different examples and see how it's done. Yeah, I think it's up to each individual district to decide whatever they think is best. If it's in their benefit to do so, and there's all kinds of different models that you can go. There are 256 school districts in the state. 5,360 buses, and you have 68 is the average bus size, and the average number of riders per route is 48.46, and that's according to the 2013 DLR report on student transportation. Now, funding opportunity. One thing, let me talk to you about funding opportunities just a little bit. Act 941, this is just a possibility, something for districts to consider if they choose to do so. Allows the advertising on the school buses. And with that, you may look to offset some of the costs of the internet with the advertising on the school buses. Now, if I have talked with legislative audit, if a district does decide to do advertising, say specifically with the provider, it's recommended you handle them as two separate transactions, even if it washes out. In other words, you invoice and pay on one side, same thing on the other side, so that they're two independent things for your audit. So just to make sure that you track that properly. Also, it addresses in that Act 941 that any revenue must be used for school transportation purposes. This is not E-rate eligible. If that's a question, so I'll just answer that one right. Now, next steps. Any kind of agreement would be specifically between the district and who they choose to do business with. The state is not looking for a statewide contract, nor to force it upon any district and allow that flexibility with local control. Things that you may consider installation costs, life of the hardware, coverage max, things of that nature. We do have providers here today. I'll show their contact information next, and you can contact them and get information you need. I do have, aside from internet providers, Cisco here today that provides hardware that can do different things. And as I was telling you, some of these can be as simple as a hotspot on a bus. It's a hotspot that many of us carry around and connect to the internet. They can get even more elaborate, where they get to the point where they can tell you the engine revolutions per minute, GPS track it in real time, where even parents can track it. It just depends how elaborate what you want to do with this type of technology and how far you want to go with that. So the vendor information is right here. Now, we also have Team Digital. Team Digital is ready to help and assist schools with questions with that. Edwin's number and address is there at the top, and you can see a list of the companies and the contact information for each of those, AT&T, Sprint, T-Mobile, Verizon, and Cisco. On this sheet, as well as their phone numbers and email addresses. Feel free to contact them for any that you need. Also, I have DIS. DIS is here. They're here also to answer any kinds of questions. One of the common questions is filtering, and that is a question for districts, I think, to look at. And there are some ways with some technology that you can filter back through the school. And so, you know, I encourage you to have those conversations and have those conversations with the vendor, Team Digital and DIS, and it just totally depends how each district is choosing to set it up. So I can't give you one easy method and say this is going to work for everyone. It's going to be different based upon each one and do whatever you need to do with that. So that is the